It has been over 3 weeks since the farmers began their protest on the Singhu border in Delhi. Farmers are demanding the three central laws: Farm Services and the Essential Commodities Act, Farmers Produce Trade and Commerce Promotion and Facilitation Act, and the Farmers Empowerment and Protection Agreement of Price Assurance Act, which came to force in September, be rolled back. The government has said that they will not repeal the laws. The government has said that the three reforms will open global markets for Indian farmers, attract private sector investment, and eventually spur the agricultural growth. The reforms are intended to increase the income of small farmers. The legislation on contract farming will allow farmers to enter into contract with agricultural firms. The Essential Commodities Act 2020 seeks to remove commodities like cereals, pulses, oilseeds, edible oils, onion, and potatoes from the list of essential commodities, which means there will be no stock limits on these commodities. Ramandeep Singh Mann, one of the prominent voices on protest, is an engineer turned farmer who intends to make farming a profession of hope again. He joins us today to explain what are the demands of the farmers and why they are opposing the acts. So, Ramandeep, the government is saying that the farmers are misled. Home Minister Amit Shah also, in a meeting with a farmer, reportedly said that it was a mistake not talking to the farmers before bringing in these laws. But they are saying farmers are still misled and they need to understand these laws. So I want to ask you, are farmers not understanding these laws, or there is a genuine problem with these laws?
Why won't we understand the farm laws? So we are stupid people. We have educated people, we have agriculture experts, we have food policy experts, and it is a simple thing. Like, it is not rocket science. So the argument which the center government is taking, that the farmers are not understanding the farm laws, so it is a flawed argument. They just want to stretch it a bit more. They just want to say, yes, so we made a very good farm law and the people are not understanding. You tell me one thing: if I make a law for you and if your income will get increased, will you oppose those laws? Nobody will oppose such laws, right? And now, like Amit Shah, he very categorically said that the farm laws will not be rolled back. You can have amendments. So now the simple thing is that farmers have understood that these farm laws are not good for them, and the only thing which they want is that these farm laws should be rolled back. That is it, pure and simple.
So, if I'm not wrong, there are two major things which are being opposed widely. That the privatization, that the Ambanis and Adanis will come, and there will be corporatization, and the farmers will be, again, the small farmers will be deprived of their land, and there will be contract farming, and he will be labor in his land. And another part is that the APMCs will be slowly finished when the corporate players come in. So but on the contrary, if you see that if corporates player come in, they have huge stock capacity. Today we have, like, onion prices have gone up. So now we have stopped our exports because we cannot store onions. So in the same way, if there are like huge, if the corporate comes in and if they fix prices for you so that the onions can be stored at this much price, or this can be also be true for food grains. Don't you think it will be more feasible?
See, first and foremost, you have to understand, everybody has to understand, if corporate players, private players, they want to enter the agriculture sector, right? The only goal they have is that if they invest like 100 rupees, they should get at least the double of it. Now the simple point is, since a very long time, I won't say the NDA time, in the UPA time also, right? Farmers were not realizing the prices of their crops according to their input costs. The only thing what farmer is asking is that if my input cost is 100 rupees, you tell me how much should be the margin. If the margin is 40 rupees, like XYZ anything, you ensure me that if my input cost is 100 rupees, and on top of that, like the profit, it should be like it can be changed also. I'm just giving you an example. And if the profit, like according to Swaminathan report, is rupees 50, right? So you just ensure me that if my input cost is 100, I will get 50 rupees over 100 rupees. That is the single thing which the farmers are asking, right? Now the argument is the private sector will come, they will make warehouses, they will make silos, our storage will increase. Okay, agreed. If everything will go according to plan, then what is being said is that you will realize the crop prices will be more, right? Okay. So what is the problem in ensuring those crop prices? If you are sure that after investing in silos, warehouses and all the things, the farm incomes will increase, then what is the problem in ensuring them?
The MSP basically you're talking about, right? The minimum selling price, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So the government is saying that there is no MSP will be there, and even if private players are there, then also MSP will be there. So in that case, what exactly more do you want from the government?
See, if they are saying MSP, if they are saying MSP hai, MSP rahegi, MSP thi, so what is the problem in making an act which ensures that MSP will be there? If you are saying it, what is the problem in taking another law? You bring another ordinance, and like everybody will be happy, and everything will be hunky-dory, and the farmers will go back.
So regardless of these laws, if there is one more law which says that MSP will be there, so then there is no issue with these three laws, right?
See, the issue is there, but then like the talks, the speed of the talks, right, and the atmosphere, like it will be changed, and then we can have some sort of a bargain sort of a thing, right? But unless and until farmers get something in their hand, so the point of continuing the talks, it makes no sense.
The Agricultural Produce Marketing Committees, or the APMC mandis, are responsible for procurement of agricultural produce on the minimum selling price or the minimum support price, commonly known as the MSP. Every year, the grain procurement on MSP in Punjab and Haryana reaches nearly 100%, and in some years, the quantity exceeds the production. In several other states, many farmers are unaware about the MSP and are forced to sell their produce to a middleman. But that's not it. These mandis are also a source of income for the state governments.
We have mandis which like the function on the ground. Every village is interconnected to the APMC, and we have pakka roads. All the interior roads are the pakka roads which interconnect the villages to the APMC mandis. And it is only Haryana and the state of Punjab which have an excellent system of the mandi system. If you go to other places, like you go to Jharkhand, Odisha, Eastern UP, you will find no mandis out there. So the only thing is like the traders, and then whatever rate the traders offer, you have to go for that. I was reading a report in the Wire, and the Wire had placed an RTI. So the government of Bihar, it could not procure even 1% of the target, and that money was supposed to come from not from the state government. It was from the central government. So if the central government agrees to pay for the MSP procurement also, after that also the state of Bihar, it could not procure. So the reason is clear that if you do not have functioning the mandi system, then the MSP procurement is also a problem. And now what the law says is that okay, you do that all the agriculture transactions inside the mandi will have a fee, will have a tax that is 8.5% in the state of Punjab and 6.5% in the state of Haryana. And outside the APMCs, there will be no tax. So it's quite but obvious that all the agriculture transactions will slowly start moving outside the mandis.
Yes.
When they move outside the mandis, the income of the mandis, it will be finished. When there is no income, then how will you, then what about the upkeep of the sheds of the mandis? How will you pay the employees? Yeah, in the state of Punjab alone, the tax is around about 4,000 crore rupees.
Yes, you mean to say the Mandi tax and the rural development tax, right?
Yes. So, and another problem is after the GST, the central government is not releasing the funds on time also. So the states are starved of cash, and now you are attacking the revenue streams of the states also.
There is one more argument in against the MSP that goes that MSP has made agricultural economy in a way kind of a lazy, because now there is because then the farmers don't get to another crops such as maize. We need maize, we need oil seeds, we import.
I agree. You just tell me one thing. If you are assuring me the profit over my input cost on only two crops and not assuring on the other crops, then what is the fault of the farmer? You assure it on all the crops. You assure the MSP for all the crops, and then farmers will not go for the wheat cycle and the paddy cycle, Do you understand my point?
Yeah.
Then farmers will go for oil seeds also, they will go for pulses also, or the bajra also. I'll give you an example. In this season, the MSP of maize was 1850 rupees, like a quintal. Rupees 1850 for every quintal. Farmers realized 800 rupees. So now you tell me that what should the farmer do? Will he go for the maize again? Like he won't. He will go for the wheat and paddy because the MSP is assured.
So you are saying that the government should incentivize other crops as well, just as they incentivize these crops, right?
Absolutely.
Then this APMC Act was amended in every state, including Punjab. Then why do you think that that private players were already included? Then what is the fear of these three laws?
See, the point is very simple. No APMC amendment in any state said that we will impose the RDF and the Mandi tax in the APMCs, but outside the APMC, the agriculture transactions will be free. They will not have any tax. No amendment said this. You see, the concern is if they do this, the arrivals will dry in the APMC and it will finish off the APMC.
Ramandeep, I would like to ask a last question. How long are the farmers planning to continue the protest?
Farmers are prepared for at least 10 years. Like we had brought up food grains on the tractor trolleys for 4 to 5 months, and now all the supply lines from Haryana and the Punjab, all the people are helping us. We are getting huge support.
In Bihar, the APMC mandis were abolished in 2006, after which several small farmers were forced to migrate to Punjab and work as daily wage laborers. So the protesters' fears are for real and needs to be addressed. It is now up to the government as to how do they wish to interact with the farmers. We will discuss a comparative analysis of Bihar and Punjab in the next episode. Till then, stay safe, stay logical.